Hey, Tony Gasson here popping in. Now, plan to probably do about 30 minutes if possible. I did this earlier, a part one, and I had to go take my son to practice and had to coach at practice, coach a client at practice, then came home, had to eat dinner, and now just finished coaching another client, and that session went 20 minutes over. So before, I get to go back to my wife, I got probably about 30 minutes here before I got to go. But I want to go a little bit more in depth on this provider men situation. And I want you to understand something, because it'll be great for every woman to have a man with a provider mentality. But to have that mentality and it be pure and it be healthy, you got to be willing to go the distance, meaning you got to be willing to turn down and walk away from man after man after man. Maybe 3 men, maybe 5 men, maybe 10 men. And the reason being is so what you have to understand, even for myself, I am a provider for my family and I take care of everything, but I used to be a taker from every other woman I ever met. I used to be the man that was an absolute dog, cheat to no end, sleep with countless women while I'm in a relationship. I used to ask for money, ask for the car, ask for somewhere to stay, all of it, ask for new clothes. I used to have every girlfriend I had buying me clothes, buying me shoes, let me hold a car, giving me money. And that's why I was a taker. And so I went through all of that, and now I'm this man today. And the reason why I'm the man that I am today is because I'm 100% in love. 100% in love, not just with my wife, but with my family, and most importantly with God. Because a man can't hold on, my computer restarting, so y'all gotta forgive me. So a man can love his woman, a man can love his kids, and still not want to take care of 100% of the bills, or even 70% of the bills. A man has to have the combination of fear and respect and reverence for God, with instruction on how to love his wife and provide for his family. The Bible says a good man leaves an inheritance to his children. So that means that man is about his business. He's a good steward of his money. He's responsible. He's prepared. He prepares for the future. You can't leave an inheritance to your kids if you don't have a will, if you don't have an estate plan, if you don't have something put together, or if you don't have assets, period, to leave behind. You got to have something. So in order to have that, you got to be responsible. You got to be prepared. You got to be a go-getter. You got to be ambitious, because you got to make money. And then you got to be a good steward over your money so that you don't squander it all and end up bankrupt before you leave this earth. So, and then remember, the man who loves his wife, or man should love his wife as Christ loved the church. That means the man has to be humble. The man has to be sold out to God. The man has to buy into that teaching, to that belief system. The man has to get over his ego. And this man is a loving man who is willing to sacrifice, who is willing to bite the bullet. So that takes a lot of development. Let's not, play around about this. It takes a lot of development. So what you have to be mindful of is that if you meet a man who is a provider, because there's pros and cons to this. So if you meet a man who he takes care of all of the dates, he pays for everything, you don't have to pay for a single thing. You have to be careful and make sure that he also doesn't come with a controlling attitude, controlling behavior. Because what a man buys, he owns. So hear me what I mean by that. If a man feels like he bought you, meaning that it was his money that made you respect him and made you drop your guard and fall in love with him. If he looks at himself and he says, I wasn't the nicest guy, I wasn't chivalrous, I didn't really show her respect, I didn't really treat her with a whole lot of respect, I didn't keep my word all the time. So with this man, he can evaluate himself and tell that he's a bum who has money. And if he knows that sometimes he cursed at you, sometimes he talked and made you feel stupid, made you look stupid. What's wrong with you? Oh my goodness. Did you go to school? He knows sometimes he talked down to you like that and belittled you, but yet he broke bread. So now, if you respecting him and you catering to him, now he realized he bought you because he didn't give you anything else that money can't buy. He only gave you what money could buy. His quality time wasn't consistent. His energy wasn't consistent. His attitude wasn't consistent. The only thing that was consistent was his spending on you. And this one I'm going to tell you, 90% of women are for sale. 90% of women are for sale. I'm telling you as a man, my wife is my wife because she was not for sale. She didn't care nothing about no money. She didn't care nothing about no money. What she wanted me to do is work a honest job and live right. When I was making $8.50 an hour, she didn't treat me bad. We was grown with kids. People say, oh, y'all was young. We still was grown with kids. And it still was men my age making way more than me. She didn't treat me bad. She was just the happiest she could be as long as I was treating her right and living right. She didn't care how much money we had. When I wanted to go do stuff to get money that may be a little lacking integrity, maybe a shortcut, maybe cheating the system a little bit, she was always like, no, I want money the right way. Whereas a lot of women be like, oh, you want to hustle a little bit? Go ahead. Oh, you want to scam a little bit? Go ahead. Long as we got their money coming in. Oh, you want to cheat the system? Oh, you want to cut corners? Oh, you want to do this, do that a little bit? Go ahead. I done seen countless, every woman I know nearby, let men do what they want to do to get the money. But what come with that attitude, with that cheating mentality, cheating the system, scamming, is a man that's dishonest. He cheats. He's verbal abusive, or he's physical abusive, or he's emotionally abusive. And so other things come with that mentality. When my wife made me be a man of integrity, that helped shape the other areas of my life. So guess what? I had to be a broke man before I could be a provider man. So that's what you have to understand, is like, you can't just expect to just all of a sudden right out the gate bump into this man. Make sure my computer plugged in. Bump into this man who has a provider mindset to where he want to take care of everything, but then also he talk to you with the utmost respect. He treats you with the utmost respect. He give you all kind of quality time. He just amazing. Words of affirmation, physical touch, quality time, for nothing gifts, acts of service, all of this stuff. And he want to provide. Like, all that right there, I had to grow to be that man. And it took years. I'm still working on it today. Like, I'm a provider. I take care of all the bills, but I still get smart out the mouth. I still wake up on the wrong side of the bed. I still want to, every night, like, give my wife the side eye. Like, I'm being honest. And this is a man who is a man of integrity, living at the highest level of living. What I mean, no pornography, no masturbation. You hear me? No cheating, no emotional cheating, no physical cheating. You hear me? No nasty moving, no Angela. You hear me? No gambling, no cursing, no getting drunk, no smoking, no scamming. I don't do none of that stuff. And I serve God. I'm living at the highest level, and I still have to make sure I'm giving enough quality time, enough affection, enough words of affirmation, and not attitude and condescending language and talking to my wife. It's still a struggle, because guess what? With us as men, it's so easy for men to equate our net worth with our self-worth. So that's why you see men who are broke are typically angry and frustrated. And then men who are rich are typically arrogant and condescending. Because men, we let our money determine how we feel about ourselves and how we treat others. That's why you rarely meet rich men or wealthy men that you would call nice. They're typically arrogant or rude, because that's how men see themselves. That's why you rarely meet broke men who are nice and honest and full of integrity. So when you meet the man who is broke and he has high character, he is a good man, an exception to the rule, and he eventually will be rich. When you meet a man who is rich, and when I say rich, that's relative. And we're not playing semantics with the difference between rich and wealthy. Go sit down, please. We're not playing semantics, okay? Rich and wealthy, we put in the same thing. But essentially, rich meaning you can make money. He can make money until the day he dies. He can make money and make 6-7 figures. Wealthy would be, in this case, if you want to argue, oh, my computer, I'm like, what that noise? My computer is downloading the program. Wealthy would be money is made in his sleep and it's already generational wealth, meaning his daddy or his granddaddy or his mama or his grandmama made it and it's passed down to him, and it just never ending supply. They own oil fields, something that's gonna always be here. You know, my partners, they family own a grocery store chain. It's gonna always be here. So he's wealthy. His family wealthy, they're gonna be wealthy. You see what I mean? Other stuff that can go out of business, that's not evolving, like gas cars. If that company don't know how to make electric cars, they're eventually gonna be out of business. You see what I mean? So that's rich. And so, but if you meet a man who is rich or wealthy, whichever one you want to go with, and he is kind and he is humble, that's a good man. He's an exception to the rule. On average, you're going to meet men who equate their self-worth with their net worth, and that determines how they see themselves and how they see you. That is why you hear so much talk about the high value man. What these men really are talking about are high net worth men. But they don't mean high value in the sense of the word, because a man with high value will never mistreat a woman, talk down to a woman, be condescending and rude and belittling and demeaning a woman. He will encourage that woman, inspire that woman, and uplift that woman regardless of her shortcomings. He will speak life into her. He will speak the truth in love, not the truth in disdain, not the truth in frustration. So what these men are calling high value men, they're talking about high net worth men, or not even net worth, just high earners. That's what they're talking about. And so, but here's the thing. So many women are so focused on a man's money that takes precedent in a woman's life. It supersedes everything else, and 90% of women don't even realize that they're gold diggers and that they could be bought, and that if a man has money, he really doesn't have to have much else. Every woman says in the comments, that ain't that they're not that way. But when that man can buy you a Mercedes Benz or put you on a private jet or take you around the town, and you going to Jamaica and Italy and France and Holland and Amsterdam and Barcelona and Spain, and you getting a flex on Instagram because this man know how to get a bag, because he lift you up and he gives you such a euphoric high with what his money can do. That one time a week or that one time a month that he looks at you like you are the scum of the earth and an absolute dummy, when he looks at you, why you so stupid? Oh my God, get away from me. And you're like, what? Why are you calling me? What? Shut up. Tired of this. Oh, I'm dealing with y'all stupid behind women. And it just breaks you down and you hurting and then you cry. But then the next day you got a Chanel bag and you're like, oh, you know what? He was wrong and he realizes he's wrong. Oh, girl, I got a good man. It's like, yeah, things get a little physical sometimes. Yeah, he get a little slick out the mouth, and yeah, he look at me with the side eye, he talk out the side of his neck. But girl, it's like the next day, it's like 8 bouquet of roses and like a new bag. And it's like, girl, a man only gonna do that if he loved you. So I'm here to tell you, girl, this man love me. Like the young lady who says she rather cry in her Rolls Royce. You said it's so 90% of women are being bought. And it's different levels to buying now. It's different levels to buying. Some women can be bought with a 2 for $20 at Applebee's. For some women, it's going to take a Chanel bag. For some women, it's going to take a Rolls Royce and a Birkin. You see what I'm saying? Because the young lady that got all the Birkins and the Rolls Royce and the Lamborghini, there are men who can buy her a Range Rover, but she don't want the Range Rover. She want the Rolls Royce. There are men who could buy her a Chanel purse, but she don't want the Chanel. She want the man that could buy a Birkin. You see what I'm saying? So that's what you have to realize. Now and then, but the woman who ain't seen none of that stuff, don't know nothing about none of that stuff, she might be cool with a 2 for $20 at Applebee's, and then he get to cuss her out later that night. But then tomorrow, now he take her to TGI Fridays. So the fact that she had to cook dinner every day growing up, and she was so tired, she was sweating in the food. Her mama was sweating in the food when her mama cooked, and now she grown, and he take her to Applebee's the night, Chili's the next night, Fridays the next night, Olive Garden the next night, Buffalo Wild Wings the next night, Hooters the next night. She just, wow. Woo, girl, he got money. Girl, let me tell you something. Girl, this man spent $250 a week on out to eat. Girl, you over there slaving in the kitchen. Girl, my man is shopping at restaurants. You hear me? Who I had last night? Chef Olive Garden. Girl, I was in that Chef Olive Garden. What I had? Chicken marsala. Girl, you can't even pronounce that. You talking about Marcella. So now she is bought. And guess what? Once a year, he punch her in the eye. But he done fed her so good for 6 months that lick in the eye she don't count it. She like, oh, he loved me. I just made him mad because it was like our waiter was a man, and when I was ordering the food, he said I was looking him too deep in the eyes and licking my lips. But really, girl, my mouth was watering because I was finna get that chicken marsala again. And then when we get in the car, he gonna hit me in the eye. Talk about why I was licking my lips at that man. I wasn't even looking at that man. That man looked like Bruno Mars. And my celebrity crush is Michael B. Jordan. And now I got this black eye, so I got to call out of work. But I ain't even gonna worry about it because he got the money. That's what's happening. So that is what I'm trying to tell y'all, that when y'all go to hollering about this provider, man, you got to be very careful. You got to be very careful. Because 9 out of 10 of these men that is a provider going to be taken in another way. Might be taking your self-esteem. Might be taking your self-worth. So this is why I try to tell you now. It ain't enough for him to break bread, spend money. He got to treat you right. Talk to you right all the time. All the time. My wife, if I get slick out the mouth, boy, she look at me, if looks could kill, I'll be dead. Do you hear me? So that let me know right there, listen, Playboy. Don't, and I'm gonna tell you, let me tell you, my wife don't do nothing she don't feel like doing. My wife don't do nothing. Look, I make decent money. You could look at my wife on Instagram and see a lady, 2-3 ladies got blocked last night when I posted a Super Bowl. Talking about, oh, all that designer, that is so tacky. Who say that? People who jealous. It's like, ma'am, I looked at the lady, she had on a business suit. It's like, ma'am, that business suit is a designer too. Just because the designer is not big enough to put their name on the outside of the suit or on the chest or on that sweater you got on, don't get mad because the designer my wife wear is a brand that they show their logos on their clothes. Don't get mad at her because that's what she liked to wear. Because that sweater was a gift that I bought her. And that sweater probably cost $2,000. But if I can afford $2,000 for a sweater, I'm going to buy my wife a $2,000 sweater from an iconic brand like Chanel versus buying her a $12 sweater or even a $200 sweater. The $200 sweater may be nice, but if the equivalent of my income is $2,000, whereas somebody who make $30,000 a year or $50,000 a year pay $200 for a sweater, we paying the same thing based on the percentage of their income and the percentage of my income. But people get mad when they see a queen with designer clothes on. What you think fashion is? What I'm supposed to make my wife wear Target clothes because they don't have a label on it? It's like, where they do that at? Yeah, it's like, and even if it is tacky, if she want to dress tacky, that's her business. Why you in the comments worrying about what my wife got on? Blocked! Blocked! I was at the Super Bowl blocking people on timeout. During the halftime show when the Weeknd was up there doing his stuff. Boy, sit down. I don't know all that singing. He ain't hitting the notes right. You need to be case of the Mondays talking about the Weeknd. It's not the Weeknd. The Weeknd relaxing. What you stress me out? With all that imagery and symbolism you got up there. Somebody asked me how I feel about it. I don't pay no attention to that, about what Satan doing on the stage. I don't pay no attention to that. That's what he doing, okay? That didn't do with me. I'm with my family. But anyways, I went off on a tangent. But listen to me. When you look at a man who provide, you have to make sure that he ain't taking from you in other ways. So it can't just be money. It have to be emotional support, physical support, spiritual support, mental support. So what I was gonna say about what I was saying about my wife. My wife, it don't matter how much money I spend on her. She do not change. She do not worship me because I provide. She do not kiss my behind. You hear me? If she got a headache, ain't nothing going on in that room but some sleeping. And you know what she's gonna ask me to do? Massage her temples. And I don't have a problem with that because that's my wife, that's my queen. I gotta take care of her every way. Physical, emotional, spiritual, financial, social, whatever kind of way it is. I got to take care of her because that's what God instructed me to do. It ain't about being no simp. It ain't about her having me whipped. It's about, this is my instruction from my creator. And guess what? Guess what? The blessings that God has poured out on my life, it let me know I'm doing something right. It let me know that God is pleased. The blessing that I'm receiving in my life, let me know that God is pleased. Do you hear me? It let me know God is pleased. And to where the Lord done blessed me to be able to do what I need to do. To do what I need to do. And have enough to take care of my family. I ain't mean to turn this computer on, but my wife bought me a new laptop. Now that's my old laptop over there, which I'll probably empty it one day and bless one of y'all with it. It still worked good. It's a MacBook. My wife bought me a new MacBook. And then I got this here Mac desktop, which I probably bless somebody with right now. But right now it just look good on my desk. But I don't use it at all. But again, you know, that's a blessing. And Lord done blessed me to even be able to bless other people. Lord done pulled out and showed out. And I'm trying to tell you, the level that the Lord has blessed me on is just, it let me know that God is pleased. And so that's why I don't question the way I treat my wife and how I, take care of her in every way possible. I'm richly rewarded for that. The Lord shows up and shows out in my life. So it lets me know that it's real when they say a man who finds a wife finds a good thing and receives favor from the Lord. But it ain't just about finding a wife. It's about loving your wife the way Christ loved the church. That's how you're going to activate that favor. And so that's what I need you to understand. Don't just focus on a man providing. Does he provide for you emotionally? Does he provide for you physically? Does he provide for you socially? Does he provide for you spiritually? And I don't mean like, dictating your relationship with God, but I mean, does he take care of your spirit? Does he feed your inner spirit? Meaning speaking life into you, not disrupting your peace and your spirit. You see what I mean? And that's what you have to understand. So make sure that you're not for sale. And at the end of the day, I'm going to tell you this right here. At the end of the day, if you have to compromise something, if you have to make a healthy compromise, compromise money. Compromise money and not character. So what I mean by that, if you as a woman make money and you could earn a living, and while you are working, it works best for your relationship to go 50-50 on the bills, but he talk to you like a queen, he treats you like a queen, but y'all split the bills down the middle because he doesn't have above and beyond finances to take care 100%, and your money is just your money. If your money needs to go into the pot to be used for bills, but he treats you good, like a good woman, you're not lacking anything. You are not lacking anything. Do not look down on that man because he can't pay 100% of the bills if y'all got big bills. And if you got big lifestyle and you want to spend big money, big bills could mean $2,500 for rent, $2,000 for rent or mortgage. That's a big bill. Now, if he can't afford $1,000, then we need to look within. We need to do we'll need to have a little discussion if he can't afford $1,000 for the rent or the mortgage. Okay, we need to have to look in a little bit, do a little investigation, just make sure everything on the up and up. All right, because A man of character eventually gonna get to that money. A man of character eventually gonna get to the money. Okay? And so that's what you gotta understand, the build, and especially depending on age now. Don't y'all be coming out here as women talking 21 years old, you want to provide her man. All right. Now when you 40 and you 50, okay, you 40 and up, okay. All right, you need a man with a little bit more financial security. But this the thing. If he got 6 or 7 figures, or 8 or 9 or 10 figures, make sure he got the character to match. Make sure he got good character that's worth millions. You see what I mean? So even with me just talking about this, it's like it's gonna make me talk to my wife even better. I'm finna get off this phone right now. I'm finna go in there and I'm finna sit down. I'm finna strike up one of these boring conversations. And this is what I mean when I say boring. Is if she wanna talk about fashion, I don't care nothing about fashion. But if that's what she wanna talk about, I need to be like, oh, for real? Oh. So when Chanel gonna release that? Oh, but that's gonna hit there. Hey, that's gonna hit there. Now, so what Louis gonna do? Louis gonna come back with something on that? Like what Louis working on? And she'll get on in that thing, but she going. I don't care nothing about that. I care about her. If that's what she want to talk about, she want to talk about a podcast she listening to. She listening to all them crime podcasts. She want to tell me about this case that she just listened to. Okay. Oh, and what he did? What? That man. Now I don't be all like that, not extra, but I'm saying I intently, cause she could tell if I'm playing, and sometimes I do that, and she'll be like, "Stop playing with me." She could tell. I don't be like that now, but I'll be like, "For real, he did that?" Cause it's my normal way when not on camera, For real? What the world? Now what city is this in? That's how I talk to her. So, but I'm engaged, cause a lot of times I might my mind somewhere else. My mind on business, my mind on work, my mind on this, my mind on that. And she may be talking and I ain't listening. So guess what? If she talking and I ain't listening, I don't deserve no real affection from her that night. Because I ain't make love to her mind. I don't deserve no meal. I came home tonight, she hadn't cooked us a meal. Okay? And she did that. Tomorrow she might not be able to cook. But I'm not going to look down on her. I'm paying these bills. I'm out here busting my butt. And then I got to stop at Chick-fil-A. That's the thanks you going to give me? Chick-fil-A? Man, see, that's what I try to check. See? No, I ain't going to do that. I'm going to tear that Chick-fil-A up. You hear me? Because she a human. You feel me? She a human. Like, I had to come do a coaching session. I was running late. She said, oh, I got to get the water at the door. Because the grocery delivery hadn't delivered the water. She brought it in. She sat it right at the door. It's sitting at the door outside of my office. She sat at that door because that's saying, listen, you the man. This stuff is heavy. I need you to carry this to the refrigerator. She left it right there at the door. She could have went and put it up now, but she left that for me. So, because I'm physically stronger than her. So now I'm going to get that. Now, see, when she said that, she really was trying to see if I'm going, oh, let me grab that real quick. But I was already late for my call, so I had to come on and get the call. But because I know I got a strong woman, because I know she also independent, who have become interdependent, I know she could just grab it right there at the door and sit it right in the house, and I'll take it from there. Teamwork. Teamwork make the dream work, okay? You see what I'm saying? So one hand wash the other. You scratch my back, I scratch yours. Sometimes I'm doing something that may seem like like they say, soccer mom. Guess what? I'm a soccer dad. I take my sons to practice every day while my wife is at home doing something else. When I go there, it's a lot of moms that bring their son. But I'm a dad and I bring my sons. And then it's dads that bring their sons too. And mom might be at home cleaning. She might be doing laundry. She might be cooking. She might be doing homework with the other kids. She might be at another practice with the other child. So mom doing her thing too. But it ain't like, oh, because I earn a living, you got to do everything else. You need to cook. You need to clean. You need to sleep with me on demand. You need the yes sir, no sir, basically. You need to call me Lord, like Sarah called Abraham. You need to do everything for the kids. Take them everywhere. So she take them to school in the morning because she a morning person. I take them to practice in the afternoon. You see what I'm saying? It's a balancing act. People be like, on the one video, 5 signs he's in love with you, and I talked about my wife, being tired of having a headache. So I got up and I drove them to school. People like, well, why you just couldn't take them? Because my wife want to go. She didn't want to stay home. She just wasn't in the mindset to drive because she had a bad headache. I got up when I normally sleep to 8 or 9 because I stay up late at night studying. So I cut my sleep short because she was tired. So for me, she know that's a sacrifice for me because she'll normally let me sleep in because I stay up late working. And then she get up early because she's an early riser. But she stayed up late that night before. She could operate off 3-4 hours of sleep. If I have 3 or 4 hours of sleep, I'm ready to be on a Snap documentary. She know that about me. We know each other. So when I got up, I said, no, I'm finna do this because even though I'm super tired, I'm a good driver. I could drive better tired than she could drive better tired. So I got on up, but she don't want to stay home. She a strong woman. She got a routine that she does with the boys. She want to pray with them. She want to go over their vocabulary, go over their homework assignments, make sure everything done. That's her round. So I do the driving. But typically, she want to do that every morning. That's her time with our sons, taking them to school. So touch your nose, mind your business. It's your kids too. Duh, it's my kids, but that is her space that she operate in. And if I infringe on that, she feel a type of way. Taking them to, if I get up and say, let me take the boys to school, her heart will be broken. Because she like, no, I got a routine. We do something with them. So I'm not going to step on that because that bring her joy. And then in the afternoon, I take them to practice. So she taking them to school, bringing them back. I take them to practice, bring them back. You see what I'm saying? So one hand wash the other. It ain't because I earn X amount of dollars and I pay the bills and she have spending money and all of that she got to serve me and worship me and do everything else. And that's what, when you asking for a provider, you have to, and then what you have to understand is that for him to be a provider financially, but also emotionally, that's going to take some development. You hear me? I'm a man. I'm here to tell you. That's going to take some development. He might be weak in one of those areas. Okay, he might be weak in both of those areas, but as long as he ain't all out wild and crazy. And see, this is the thing. You don't apply a blanket statement to this. And what I'm gonna have to do, I was thinking about it today. I'm gonna have to create. I don't want to do this, but for the sake of what's going on, I'm gonna have to create something crazy, like a 52-week group course, and it'll probably be $10 a week because I got to put a price on it because otherwise it have 1 million people in there and I'll be too drained because it come with Q&A, and I'm gonna have to max it out too, just in case it is too many people that can afford $520. But in my heart's desire, because a situation like this is so complex, and understanding men for women is so complex, and that I see so many women in the comments with this fairy tale that does not exist, and they think that just because a man says he's a man of God, that he finna just be perfect, and that he finna be an emotional provider, a financial provider, a spiritual provider, a social provider, a sexual provider, a physical provider, a toenail provider, a hairdo provider, that he finna just be every kind of provider in the world, and she just finna have this just beautiful, just bump-free, blemish-free, roadblock-free relationship with this man of, and she just know for a fact that God got this man waiting on her. Sister. Woo. All right. Okay. All right. Where you at? Okay. All right. He got to be developed in the dark. And you got to know what can give and what can't give. You got to know what's a deal breaker and what can we work with. And this right here got to go deep. It got to go deep. So it hit my heart today. But the thing is, like I told you, I hate routine. So the 52 weeks might take us 75 weeks. At the end of it, you're going to feel like you done graduated with a bachelor's. You hear me? Because if I got something going on that week, hey, we ain't no class this week. You see what I'm saying? Because my son got a game. Or I got tickets to the NBA game, to the NFL game. I can't start living now. You know how people do something every Wednesday night at 9 o'clock? No, sometimes I got a game to go to. Wednesday at 9. I'm at a game. I'm on a date. You know what I mean? I can't be there every Wednesday night. You feel me? That's why I can't be no pastor. Because like, no, we're going to have church on Tuesday this week. Then next week we're going to have church on Thursday. Next week we're going to have church on Wednesday now because I got a family. I got a life to live now. Come on now, family. So I'm thinking about doing this, and I do stuff, and the reason why I put a price on it is just to separate the real from the fake. Try to weed out the spirits, because you got so many spirits, and I ain't got time to argue about what I know. Because all I'm trying to do is help you with what I know. If you feel otherwise, you believe otherwise, more power to you. Go right ahead. God bless you. I ain't going to try to convince you otherwise, but I know what I know, because I'm a man. I done been out here. I done did it all. I done seen it all, played it all. I know what I'm talking about. But it's a certain group of people who got wisdom to listen when they know that a person is coming from a genuine place from the right reason. So I'm going to pray on this and see what I could do. I don't know if I could do 52 weeks, but the reason why I say 52 is just because it'll be fluid. I may only come up with 20, 25 topics, but then from the Q&A may bring up other little nuances. So one session may become 2 or 3 sessions, and just off that one topic. So when we understand the balance between how much money a man make and his character, and then break that down into age groups, because it mean one thing in 20s, it mean another thing in his 30s, mean another thing in his 40s, mean another thing in his 50s. So it's so many nuances to it that it's just something that I can't do on YouTube, because on YouTube publicly, it's just open to too many spirits, too many people that just ignorant and just saying stuff for the sake of argument, and it disrupt the work. So I have to do this for people who really want to work. You see what I'm saying? And really want to get that insight, because you really trying to be wife ready, and you really not trying to waste your time, or you going through a season of healing, and you finna be healing for 6 months to a year before you even get into another relationship. And when you get into there, you want to have a full understanding of what a real man looks like, but also understanding the flaws of a real man and what is manageable and what isn't. So if you think that'll be a course you'll be interested in, I would like to do 52 weeks. It would be, I don't know how many weeks it'll be though, but it'll be $10 a week, $10 a session, whatever, how many other weeks I come up with. And but if you think, and that just hit me today, and to be honest with you, I fear it, because I do not like routine. I do not like doing the same thing every week in the same format, in the same way. So I do fear it. But I guess you could switch it up, because sometimes you could do Zoom, sometimes you could do private YouTube live, sometimes you could do it by phone. I don't like using video stuff because technology, it be glitching and be going out, and whereas the phone, it never cut out anymore. So I do the phone too, and then so people ain't got to show their face or show their name, and you can ask questions anonymously. But if that's something that you think you would be interested in, just type in the comments, "Hey Tony, I'm in." Now, 52 weeks, $10 a week, that's $520. Okay, it's no tangible return on that, like monetary return, like the life coach certification. So a lot of y'all don't even take the life coach certification, and you could take that knowledge and make $1 million. You could take that knowledge and earn 6 figures a year as a life coach, and a lot of people won't even make that investment. So I'm not sure over here what this will be like, but hey, at the end of the day, if it's 10 of us, that just means it's 10 folk going in the trenches and getting that work in. So that's something I'm thinking about. If I was to do it, I'll probably launch it in probably, this month or next month, or do a pre-order, pre-sign up. Maybe do a 2 payment plan. But then see, I don't like being a bill collector. And then I also don't like working with people who don't have integrity. Somebody who they pay the first half and then renege on the second half, because then you throw my spirit off. Don't get on here asking no questions when other people made a full commitment and you done made a half a commitment, and now you don't hear with all these questions. So that's why I don't do payment plans, because it just disrupt my spirit, when somebody, do like that, because I put my whole heart into what I do, and I always try to over deliver and undercharge. So anything that I charge, the market would say I'm supposed to be charging 3 to 10 times that amount. A lot of people don't understand that though about pricing, because it just ain't never invested in themselves in courses and stuff. So they'll look at my price and think it's high, but really don't understand compared to the market. I'm giving a 90%, minimum 50% discount on every single thing that I sell, every single thing. But a lot of people, if you don't invest in yourself regularly, you won't know that. When you won't know that I got a client that's taking a life coach certification for $12,000, and it ain't gonna teach her nothing more than my certification that's on sale right now for $500. But you wouldn't know that. Hey, went off on tangent. I got to go. Got my old book in the mail today about the Chevelle. Now see, I got my old Chevelle, and I'm working on my Chevelle. So for y'all wonder, do Tony just work and all that? No, I do classic cars. I'm restoring classic cars, and because it's something that's an investment, I could just pinch a little bit of money to it at a time. The shop keep it till it's done. It may take a year or two to rebuild, but then I got it. I could drive it and enjoy it, and then I could pass it down to my sons. I'm gonna do one Chevelle for my oldest son, do another Chevelle for my youngest son. So y'all ever see me in my Chevelle, just know, hey, don't worry about it touching hold. Hey, this Tony Gaston. God bless you. We'll talk soon.